Here we go. Countdown.
Fam. This the name of the jam. This is a jam with the E-Cam fam. E-Cam fam, this the name of the jam. This is a jam with the E-Cam fam. This is a jam with the E-Cam fam. It's a jam with the E-Cam fam. E-Cam fam is the name of the jam.
Stop the music!
Ladies and gentlemen.
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 Can I please have your attention?
Now showtime. Are you ready? Are you ready for start time?
Let's find out. Ready? Let's go.
Happy Friday, everybody. I hope you had a fabulous week and you are enjoying this afternoon. It's been a pretty great afternoon over here. I will tell you, today was a little bit wacky. Before we get into talking about designing with Canva, I'm going to go back to how my landscape was painted this week. On Monday, we had, I'd call it somewhat of an ice storm, and school was canceled, but the roads actually looked pretty good. And then today, it was treacherous out there. Horrible driving condition, and they had school, so go figure. I don't know, but thank goodness for four-wheel drive. So let me know where you're tuning in from. If you're somewhere down south, make me envious. Tell me what the weather's like down there. Are you guys getting 60? We had a high of, I think, 28 today. So, but with wind chill, it was maybe 5. But I do love the state of Michigan. And even when it was snowing, it was so beautiful. It looked like this big puffy snowflakes floating in the air. So I do love all 4 seasons of Michigan. It's a beautiful, beautiful place to live. So anyhow, I am super excited to be here today to talk to you about one of my absolute favorite software of all times, and I'm going to tell you why. Canva has literally changed my life, and in the past, and still, I work with some graphic designers who are incredibly talented and a different skill set that's needed, especially with really high-end production. But even with Canva, some of those things can now be designated to be done in-house. And it's something that every single entrepreneur and business leader should know in 2022. Every single one of you. There is no excuse not to have a general idea of what Canva is about, because their free account is kick booty, over the top, crazy. And it empowers you with resources that maybe you would normally have to pay for, or even skill sets that templates are available to help you be guided along the way, so you're not trying to come up with what should this look like. In the past, so many of us would have to use smaller softwares, and I think it wasn't design, I can't remember one of them, but it would save it as it was a different kind of file, like not a publisher file. It was something obscure that the non-graphic designer people like myself would use. And now Canva has this setup where you have access to different tools for editing, and there's not the need for a huge learning curve. When you go through Adobe, I will tell you, Adobe, incredibly powerful software, from their graphic design to their video editing. But there's always a big learning curve when you take on a project like that. And is it worth it? In some cases, absolutely. But if you're a business owner or an entrepreneur, sometimes you don't need to go to that skill set. Sometimes if it's a real big project, you outsource it. But for these daily wind and grinds, you need to be able to express yourself in a meaningful, colorful, beautiful way online for your message to get out there. So I hope today to cover some of the basics of Canva, to show you some of the things that I use every single day for my agency, and some things that can help you make your life easier, and also to be able to reduce expenses. So maybe you don't have to hire someone until you're at that threshold of, hey, business is flowing. I've got to hire other people because I don't have time. And even in that case, I'm going to tell you, Canva is fantastic because it does easily give access to multiple people to share a piece of artwork that's being worked on. It could be minor things that need to be done, like editing text or changing a color. Sometimes if you're held up in queue by trying to connect with, let's say, a graphic designer, you might be in a situation where you have to wait 2, 3, 4, 5 days, a full week, until you can connect with them because they might be busy. So having access to Canva gives the ability to share links, do editing, and these are the kind of things that can actually really fast track the whole marketing process for you. And I really want to keep things simple and empower you to have resources like this and know how to use it. So, hey, Chef Leroy, I cheated. I checked on my phone to see who was saying hi. How you doing? Happy Friday. I hope you're having a great day. So I'd love to know, do you have a Canva account yet? And if not, I want to encourage you to start off with at least the free Canva account. I did include a link in the description. The paid pro version is the one that I have. I'm going to show you some features that I'm using that are pro. And a lot of the things that we're going to do today are available right in your basic package that's free. So why not, right? Okay, so let's dig in and look at a little bit of some fun things related to Canva. Let me come over here and get Canva open. Okay, so when you first come in, when you log in, it's basically going to look like this, where you have this header that is a prompt to help you start your first design and get that going. But if you scroll, you'll see I have a whole lot of stuff for me, stuff for clients, and it can become overwhelming. One of the things that Canva recently did is they started implementing a way to organize all of your content in folders. I'm going to go over that with you too a little bit later while we're chatting here today. And, hopefully, yeah. Oh, Isha, you've been using it for a few months. You're going to love it. Used to intimidate me in the beginning, but I've gotten a lot better at it. And, I'm so glad that you said that, because so often we see people whipping around with software and they look like, they've been using it forever. But the truth is when anyone starts any journey learning software or anything, there's that learning curve. We have to build in all of those little neural pathways in our brain so that we learn it and we adapt. And it's similar to what they call muscle memory. Like in karate, you keep throwing that same punch eventually. It just happens naturally and you're not even paying attention to it. So keep practicing, keep growing, and you'll keep learning new tricks. And maybe today, I'll throw you a trick that you didn't know. Let's aim high. I'm aiming high, Isha. So let's dig in. For starters, it can become really overwhelming when you're working on a design, a project of any sort, because there's so many options that are out there. So it is helpful if you have a general idea of what are your branding colors, what are the fonts that you want to use, and consistently use that. You'll If you go back and you look at people's, let's say, Instagram feed or even the thumbnails that they have on their YouTube videos, typically the ones that are really nailing it out of the park, you'll generally see like this consistency with either the fonts, the colors, but there's something that pulls you in that you know, oh, that's so and so, something with their style. It could be the artwork or whatever. You don't have to go over the top, with perfection, but what I want you to do is zoom in on just a couple of key things like, hey, this is going to be my selection for my 2 or 3 colors that I love. This is going to be my selection for my fonts, and Canva makes it really easy to do that. So, okay, so we're going to dig in. You'll see at the top, they have all of these templates that are easily available. So you could pick if you wanted to do a presentation. You can download this and save it as a PDF, just similar to a PowerPoint presentation. You can import it into PowerPoint if you need to, but presentations is just like the overall sort of flow and size of what a standard presentation would be, right? Social media, so that would include a variety of all the different social media that's out there: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, yada yada yada. Videos. This is probably one of the spots that is overlooked by a lot of people in Canva. It does not have the ability to do some of the most powerful things that like Final Cut Pro or Adobe Premiere Pro or Adobe Premiere for those video editing software. However, what they have available in here is quite adequate for what most people will need. And I've done some really cool things for some of my short videos. I'm going to see if I can show you that at the end, of extracting pieces of videos from other previous videos for these little short clips, which are one of the hot trends that I was talking to you about on Wednesday. So keep that in mind. And then you can get into some other really cool stuff if you needed, printed things like your brochures or your business cards or even magazines. They have so much in there. And then you can get into some like the marketing, some of the invoice things. So if you were doing posters, things like that. And they have so much more that you can check out too. You also have the ability to do a custom size graphic. Now, yesterday I was showing you in GrooveFunnels how it had some of those spots for thumbnails for adding photos for a page or for your blog post. And typically when we hit that one button that said configure, it popped up a number that would show you what are the sizes. Now, for those of you that aren't familiar with sort of, we'll call it the numbers that graphic designers use, a lot of us normal people will use things like inches, like 5x7 or something like that. With graphic designers, they use something that's called pixel. So it's, again, all it is size. It's coming down to defining what is the size of your project that you're working on. In Canva, you do have the option of defining your custom size by pixel, inches, millimeters, centimeters. So you can do all of that. I typically stick into the pixel spot, but you can change that, just so you know. But for today, I thought what we could do is come up with like one design, and we're going to do it based off of a template. If you're here and you want to interact with me and help me pick along the way, that always makes it a little bit more fun. So let's dig in. For starters, I do like to use this video feature or this video template section a lot, even for making like my YouTube thumbnails, things like that, because I know, my YouTube artwork, if I'm live streaming and I'm doing artwork, because I know that it's automatically sized at 1920 by 1080. So it's going to fit perfectly if I do a live stream. In fact, some of the graphics that you see when I do go live with Ecamm, a lot of the graphics I've created in Canva. And even many of the pieces of video. So we'll talk about that too. Okay, so let's dig in, and let's say hypothetically, we were going to work on some thumbnails. And I'm going to show you something that I recently did for updating all of my thumbnails in YouTube. This is my current project that I'm working on. Now, when I started off, what I did was I picked, in fact, you know what? We're going to go back and we'll start fresh, okay? So this was just some stuff that I modified for my brand. All right. Okay, so let's dig in and let's say that we want to do we're going to hit social media, and then it comes up with these different selections. If you want to do a post on Instagram, the reels, I mean, you can read through it. There's so many different spots in social media that require artwork, you know, your Facebook banner, your YouTube banner, your page, your Facebook events, so much stuff. Even your Facebook event color and event cover. All of these require artwork from you. So let's say I'm going to go over here. I'm going to do create design, and I'm going to come down and select YouTube video thumbnail. The size by default it'll automatically generate is 1280 by 720. And you'll see on the left-hand side, all of these things are auto-generated for templates that I can start with and then make modifications for my story, right? So we're going to be goofy for a minute, and we're going to pick a couple of them, okay? Let's say podcast. Who knows? Maybe I'll use some of these since we're doing the work, right? Why waste the time? Do the work. Okay, so here's one, and let's do another one. This is kind of similar, a little bit different. And I'm going to go back through and I'm going to play around with the backgrounds too. So there's a little bit of this consistency. Let's go over here. What's that? A seaweed wrap? What is that? Oh, broccoli. Eat your broccoli and you get good abs like that. I don't know. I eat broccoli. My abs don't look like that. No more. No more. So yeah, I haven't had a six-pack in about 25 years, I think. Okay, let's do this one. One of the key things, especially when it comes to your thumbnails for, in fact, we'll do this one. I like that blue kind of thing. For your thumbnails that I want you to remember is small print sucks. Remember that? Okay, and that actually even moves beyond just your thumbnail. Small font has its appropriate place, but too many people are trying to shove too much shit on some place that it's too big. It's too much. You got to summarize it down. You got to reduce the text. People can't read it, even though you're like, I got to get it in there. No, you don't. A picture's worth 1,000 words, and 1,000 words is worth a great big headache. So stop it. If you are doing that on like your call to actions, on your PowerPoint presentations, yeah, even your PowerPoint presentations where you've got one slide filled with so much text, and when you stream that, guess what? You can't read it. Can't read it. Maybe a little bit if you got like a great big 36-inch monitor. But people, even with the text, hear me on this. Hear me on this. People do not remember words. People remember in images. This is like a scientific fact. And it's actually a way to be able to powerfully map your mind if you can remember this. And it's a powerful way for you to be able to guide people, is eliminating as much text as possible, getting to what is that headline story. How do you structure your words to convey what it is quickly, along with an image or colors or something? But a lot of text, it's not going to do it. Now, you may see some people that have a superpower of being able to, and I know graphic designers that have done this successfully, who can take a lot of text and put it into something that it is aesthetically pleasing, where it looks pretty to the eye, and it's easy to read, and it fits the brand. But that takes a very unique special talent for the most part. And many pieces of artwork that I'm seeing out there, they don't have that talent. They're just shoving 5 pounds of crap in a 2-pound bucket. Or is that 10 pounds in a 5-pound bucket? Whatever it is, quit doing it. summarize it, keep it simple. People do not have large attention spans, so find out how do you capture them with the right words and the right images. Okay, rant over. All right, so let's dig in. So going back to this idea that I was saying to you at the very beginning, start to identify, your main colors that you use, your main fonts that you use, and be consistent with it. Try if you can do it every single day forever till you update your branding, great. But if that's a struggle for you, I'd like you to say, I'm going to commit for 1 month. I'm only going to use these colors and these fonts. And you will find, like, when you go back and you start looking at your artwork that you have online for your social media, you're going to look like sizzling hot, like smoking, like, who did that? You'll be able to say, I did it. But that comes to the art of restraint. Less is more, and consistency creates an easy way for people to identify with you. Okay, so let's say that we're going to create 3 pieces of artwork. And in this, you can see, like, it has the background. It's like that dark blue, almost black. This is a little bit more gray, and this is a bright blue. They're all blue, but guess what? They're all different. So we're going to change it up a little bit. And, this one kind of bores me a little bit. So we're going to just delete that right out of there. And then we've got, actually, even that black background doesn't look bad. But let's say that we get rid of that. We're going to get rid of this blue. And I do kind of like this stargaze kind of look. It's just I'll show you how to do that too. There's a couple of different ways to get your backgrounds in there. So starting off with this template, let's pick out a color for this second slide that we have right here. And I'm going to come up here into the sort of little rainbow box and click on that. And right here, this is something that I have set up for this quarter for my Beam business page, that these are the colors that we're committing to. And if you go and you look at my artwork, you're going to see pretty consistently for all of the Beam marketing content, we're using these colors right here. And you can go through and define that on your end too by adding into a color palette. I don't know if you saw where I clicked that. Down here, down below, you hit add another color palette. And then you go and you pick what colors you want. Hit the plus sign. You can go through and add the exact color that you want. Or if you know the actual number sequence for that specific color, you can drop it in there. That is helpful, especially if you're using multiple software. So let's say that your website or your even streaming, where you're picking that exact color. So if you select like that number sequence for the color. So you just go through, you add that. I'm going to delete this out of here. Click off. So if I highlight over it, hit the X, it'll go away. So this gives you a little bit of an easier way to manage what colors you're picking from. You also have the ability to select which fonts you want to be for your available for your branding. If you have a specific font that you want to use, you can come over to here to upload font and then just upload it automatically right into Canva. One resource that you could consider, let me pull it up here. First time I heard it, I was like, what? But it's called Dafont. Dafont.com, D-A-F-O-N-T, Dafont.com. Can you see it down here? No. I was hoping you see it. Anyways, it's D-A-F-O-N-T.com, Dafont.com. There's a ton of different fonts that you can select that you love. Word of caution that I'm going to share with you is look over on the right-hand side. So if it's for personal use only, that would be one that you don't want to use, right? Unless you pay for that font. However, this one here, it's 100% free. So you're allowed to use that. There's no copyright issues. So this would be one, like let's say I was going to do that. I just hit the download button. It's going to, you can't see it on my end, but hold on a second. What it did was it just downloaded a zip file to my hard drive, right? And I'm going to come back over. Let's go back over to Canva. Where were we at? Right here. And we're going to hit upload font. Why is it taking so long to... What's going on here with my computer? Hold on. Hold on one second, you guys. Oops. Okay, it's not showing that screen, but the short of it is you end up hitting that upload font that I just downloaded from DaFont, and then you can pull it right into Canva. Super freaking easy, huh? This can be so much fun, especially if you have, let's say, a holiday or something special where you need that specific font so you can easily upload it. Are you getting ready for St. Patrick's Day? Who's got some leprechauns in the house? Woot, woot. Got to go get those shamrocks so you can start using that on your artwork. But check that out because they have some absolutely beautiful things available and it's free. But just make sure with caution that you do select ones that are 100% free for you to use. So what did Isha say? I drive myself crazy for hours deciding on fonts and colors too. I know. And this, you're not the only one. I'm going to tell you. And that's why I was saying back to you, take it from like going way out with all the ideas and just scale it back in for 1 month. Give yourself 1 month. Like just pick a headline font, a sub font, and then a font that you would use for basic text. Right? Commit to it for 1 month. And my suggestions for anybody, if you're trying to figure out which fonts to use, you have to remember when we're designing on our computers, it's bigger. A lot of people are going mobile. So you want to make sure that the letters are very crisp and clean, that you don't have a lot of curly foo-foo stuff. One of the things that I see that most female entrepreneurs, you beautiful minds, you got a beautiful mind, but you got to settle it down on the foo-foo stuff when it comes to the font because you can't read it. And I remember I had somebody that I was working with a couple of years ago who was adamant about using a very thin, curly type font in their business logo. And I kept saying, you can't read it. You can't read it. But she loved it so much and she could read it that she did it anyways. And then the comments she got after her launch was, what does that say? What does that say? What does that say? And it was her business name. So that's a crying shame when you have eyes on your business and then people can't figure out what you're saying. So keep it crisp, keep it clean. Even if you look at, like, let me show you this Canva logo. They do have some curve, but number one, they have brand recognition that we now recognize it. But even with this, it's spaced out and it still does have a little bit of that structured format to it. It's not too curly Q. We're not doing like the old calligraphy type of style, if that makes sense to you. I like having one script font, but I always make sure you can read it. Then you're set right there because it becomes a problem. I've even seen it in major print publications where they have the font so small where it's like, oh my gosh, like give me a magnifying glass, my glasses, and while you're at it, give me a spotlight because I can't see it. So you want to make sure that people can read what it is that you're writing. Keep your words minimal, but keep it crisp and keep it clean. So using this little section here in Canva is a way that can help you stay on track so you're not like, oh wait, what color blue was it? Or did I use the Anton font or was it, this impact font? They look so similar. I don't remember. You don't have time for that in the reality of life. You need to be able to quickly do what you need to do and move on. Otherwise, that's to the point that, you hire somebody because it's taken too long. We want to keep it simple. And if you do take the time to set that up in advance, it'll make life a little bit easier. Okay, so we're going to say hypothetically, like on this one, that we're going to use the same Brady Events colors and beam colors and get that going. So I could do just something that's like a blue. I can also come over, if you look, you'll see that there's, like in this section, there's 2 boxes. I have one box that is the color box, right? And then I have another box that is my text box. So let's say that I want to change this color into white. And so all I did was, I didn't tell you what I did. I hate it when I watch tutorials and it's like, what did you do? What did you click? Okay, so all I did was I clicked on the little box there. It came up to the rainbow box, clicked that, and then I just selected white for the background. And then I'm going to come back over here. And for this one, we're going to change it to, we'll call it Big Deal. Wait, Big Deal. And then we'll say Big Deal for springtime. I got spring on the brain. For spring blooms. Spring floral blooms. How about that? We're just making this up as we go. Okay, so I can come in here and then just double click on the text, double click it, and then come up here where the letter A is. That allows you to change the color of your font. I'm going to come right over to that little palette, that little management tool that I use to stay on track because my ADD makes me want to use every single color in the rainbow and then I can't make a decision. We're going to just do fuchsia. Boom. Okay, so that's done. And I'm not him, right? I mean, he's a handsome guy, but I'm not him. So we're going to go over to the section called Upload Video. And I was playing this past week, updating some of my thumbnails. But here were some of the ones that I did. So, you know what? We'll take this black and white one, okay? So all I did was let me delete this. I just clicked on it, and it pulls it over to where I have my mouse. So I have my mouse clicked on here, so it's going to import here. If I had my mouse clicked up on the graphic up above, guess where it's going to put it? Up above, right? Okay, so we're going to click on that. I'm going to pull this over and down just a little bit. All I'm doing is clicking and dragging it down to the corner. Come up to the section that says Edit Image. Now, I think that this may be a pro feature. I'm not positive, but I think it is. I ended up upgrading to this pro feature on this account because I wanted the PNG feature to be able to download a transparent image, and hopefully today I'll be able to show you that. Okay, so all I do is click on remove background, and the software, it's going to take about 10 seconds and it will get rid of that background for me. Oh shoot, you can't see my screen. Hot diggity damn. Thanks, Isha. Let me go back over. Like, we can't see anything. Okay, let me start over. Okay. Oh, this is a beautiful thing, too. If you ever mess up in Canva and you're like, oh, my gosh, what did I do? I didn't want to do that. For Mac users, you hit Command-Z, and it'll undo the last task. Okay, so we're going to go back over here. We'll call it Floral Blooms. Thanks, Isha. I appreciate you. See, I was talking away and looking at my screen and not looking at the screen for the broadcast. Okay, so I'm going to double click on the floral blooms, and it's going to highlight the text. Come up above to where the A is at. That's your text color. And I'm going to select fuchsia because it's one of the colors that I had in this little section that I predefined. And that's in there. And I'm going to take this guy out of here because he's not me. And, okay, so I literally clicked on the image. It brings it over to that graphic. I'm going to come up above here and then hit Edit Image. We're going to do BG Remover, Background Remover. And see, real quick, super simple, right? And then I can make that big or small. But I think, like, if you go back to sort of like the size that you see on the previous template, it's a good starting point. to kind of guide you. Now, if I drag this over, what will happen is with time, it'll adjust and it's going to cut this off there. See, it does that. But let's say that you had an image that you wanted to crop in that image. This is how you do it. So I'm going to click on my image here. I'm going to double tap it. See here how this popped open? I'll close it again. See, it's not there. I'm going to double click there. See how it changed? In the upper left corner, I'm going to take my mouse, click and hold on that, drag it in, and then see how it cropped it there. Same thing on the upper left side. I'm going to click and hold and then drag it in and then let go, and I'm going to click done. Now, in this case, the background was edited out. It might not matter so much, but there may be other images that you see that you want to know how to crop, and that's the basic of how you do it. So next thing that you're seeing sort of is a trend with graphic design on social media for thumbnails and stuff like that. You're seeing some people that are doing that outline. I'm going to show you how to do that really quick. Click on the image, hit edit image, and then come down. Wait a minute, where'd it go? Oh, right here. Click on shadows and click glow. All right, so as soon as I click glow, see how this little like hamburger thing popped up, the 3 lines stacked on top of each other? Click on that. And that allows you to get into controlling that feature as far as what it does. So by default, it has it set to color for black. We're going to change that. And it has blur. What I typically do is I turn the blur down. I turn the transparency off so it's 100% solid line. And then I just increase the size. See how it's growing over here? See how it's growing? And then you just can easily change that. I'll give you an idea of what it looks like if you do the blur. That can look nice too sometimes, if you come down like that. So that can have a decent look. You can even do it where it's like a little bit transparent. See how I'm moving it down and it's fading and it's increasing. Very subtle, but it makes a big difference. And in this case, we're going to change the color. And how about if we do, let's try the fuchsia. Okay, that looks halfway decent. It's not too bad, right? Okay, so we're going to do that. And then boom, that could technically be our first graphic. Let's say that you want to add some fun little element. Like let's say that I was going to do this specifically on a promotion I'm doing specifically on LinkedIn. Let's say it's LinkedIn. What I do is on the left-hand side, scroll down to where it says elements, click on that. In the search bar, I'm going to type in LinkedIn, and it's going to give me some LinkedIn logos. I'm going to click on that. Boom, I got LinkedIn, and I can size it up or down by simply going to the corner of the image and pulling out or pulling back in. And I'm going to move this down here. I'll shrink it a little bit more. And let's say that I want to rotate it. If I click on the image, you'll see it has 4 dots that pop up, and then I have the option of this little rotation thing. I'm going to just slightly click that, and then it's going to rotate that icon. And I might shrink it in a little bit more. Boom. Okay, so that's done. Now let's say that I wanted to say exclusively on, like LinkedIn. Like I want to do some kind of call out, doing something special for LinkedIn. I have a couple of options. I can go over here to the button on the left-hand side that says text, and this gives me a whole bunch of really cool, fun graphic or images, fonts that I can use that are already formatted out. But in this case, I'm going to go back to, remember where I showed you before, where we had selected all of the brand fonts to have them easily accessible? Well, look right here. It's right here. Boom, boom, boom. So I'm not getting caught into a 15-minute search of, oh, which font should I use? Because I'm going to commit to this for 1 month. And hopefully, actually, it's a year, 2 years. But starting to do it will create a discipline, and it's going to fast track you very, very quickly. So on this one, let's do a subtag headline right here. And I'm going to make this bigger by going to the corner and pulling out. And then we'll say exclusive on, let's do all caps. Then I went all lowercase. Exclusive on. Okay, so exclusive on, and then I might want to rotate that a little bit. I selected that set of text, and then I hit the rotation button right there. Okay, and then maybe just nudge it right over there. And I could highlight that text, make it look a little bit different by I highlighted it, come up here to the letter A, and then maybe select fuchsia or whatever color that I love. Let's see, it might be too dark. Okay, to me, I find that very dark, and this is something I want you to keep in mind. When you're doing your design, step back and look at it. You know, can I see it? Can I read it easily, or am I reading it because I already know what the words say, right? Right now, when I look at that, do I like the pink and blue? Yeah, I do. It's pretty. They're pretty colors, but guess what? I can't see it. I can't see it. And that's when it's really big. So I'm going to highlight it, and we're going to just take it back. And you know what? Let's get crazy. Let's do that wild green, okay? Now that you can definitely see, and the white you can definitely see against that blue background. So this could be, you know, like your first image, and it's done. All right? So let's say this next one, again, it could be, you know, check out my podcast. All right. In fact, let me take this font out. I put my mouse right there before the M. I'm holding down my shift key to select that text. I'm going to hit Command X to cut it. I'm going to say check out my new podcast. And then I'll just put my name down here. Liz Marasco. Okay, and I'm going to change this font. We'll go back to the yellow's what I've traditionally been using for this branding. Okay, I'm going to come back over here to this upload section, and I'm going to select here. We'll do this old photo right here. I'm going to do the same step. Edit the image, remove the background. And maybe on this one we don't do a shadow. We don't do a ring around it. Do something a little bit different. Something I didn't show you that's super easy, but I'm going to show you really quick is how do you import an image. Like I have all these images in there. I'm going to show you how I did that. Okay, so boom, that's done. Okay, so that's one. And in fact, you know what, on this one, I'm going to change this a little bit because I want to see, we're going to come back over here to templates, which is, in case you didn't see where I clicked, it's right here. Right here. See it? Right here. Okay, so I'm going to click on templates. Let's go over and pick out something that's a little bit different because those two were kind of sort of similar. So let's say that this one might not be bad. Could do that. And you don't necessarily have to use your face, just so you know. You don't have to. But depending on your business, it may be one of the key things that people are using to identify with you. Okay, so we're going to do that. And then let's do this one right here. I like this for a couple of reasons. Okay, so like on this one, I'm going to remove this guy's photo and check this out. See how this is a frame? It's called a grid in Canva. And the grids are a way for you to be able to drop a photo on top of that grid, and it'll automatically crop that photo, format that photo to be that that shape of your grid. So it could be a star or a heart or whatever. So in the case, like going back over to upload, we went over here to upload. I'm going to take that same photo that I had. Well, here, we'll take this one. Here's another photo that I uploaded. And I'm clicking it, I'm holding it, and I'm dragging it right over to where that circle grid's at. And I'm going to drop it. Boom, it's done. All right. Now here I'm starting to get crazy. Starting to get crazy over here. We got a bunch of fonts going on. We got too much crap going on. So I am going to go through. I'm going to highlight all that text. All I did was I went onto that image. I clicked. I held my mouse and then I pulled up and then it highlights everything. Okay. I'm going to come up here to the section for fonts. I'm going to pull that down. And you can see here here's some of my basic fonts that I regularly use. And I'm going to, let me come over here. Let's get rid of this graphic design. And I'm going to select that font again. I'm going to click and drag that whole entire bit of font to make it bigger and consistent. And I'm not doing gaming. Boy, I wish I did do gaming. Those people are, they have so much fun doing that. Okay, so we have this basic font here. Now I could go in, change the colors, just like we did before, of, adding that, or we'll just go back to the white. In fact, I think this has some sort of shadow effect on it, which I don't really like. I'm going to delete that out. We'll say improve your marketing. All right. Oh, no, I know what we'll do. I'm going to delete that. I don't like it. Oh, maybe that's what it was. Hold on. Gotta go back and see. Is that what was making it? No, I think that font has some sort of special effect on it. I don't, let's see. Effects, is it on there? Oh, yeah, glitch. Okay. I'll show you that. Hold on. Let's start from scratch and then I'll show you how to do that because this is kind of cool. You can do some fun stuff with your text. So let's go over here. I'm going to pull out my standard font and we're going to say, and black on black, I can't see. So all my cars, black on black on black, but I can't see in here. I can't see it. Okay, improve. And then let's say the second word that I wanted to use, I'm going to hit Control. I'm going to hit actually Option and drag with my mouse. If you are a Mac user, that automatically duplicates. Otherwise, you can select that font and then you can hit Control C, Control V to copy paste it. Okay? So I hope that makes sense. Okay, so we're going to say improve your graphics. How about that? And then we're going to say with Canva. So in this case, I don't know if I can. Okay, what I'm going to do really quick is I have a Canva logo. Let's see if you can see it right here. It looks invisible on your screen, but all I'm doing is grabbing an image that was on my desktop, which is here. You'll see it as soon as I drop it. I dragged it from my desktop right over to that template that we're working on. And I'm holding my mouse while I do that. Now I'm going to release my mouse and it's going to upload that image, okay? So I'm going to take this image, click on it, and so that I have all those little marks on it so I can size it down. I'm going to put that in there. Let's go over here to Edit Image Background. We're going to remove the background here. Okay. And I don't like that white is shining behind here, so I'm going to actually remove that whole background. Okay. Wonder why it did that. That's odd. I think when I removed the background, it removed part of the white that's in the letters Canva. But for demonstration purposes, this is fine enough. I can go back in. In fact, I'll show you this really quick. Let's say that you do cut out part of your background and it cut out some stuff that you didn't want to have cut out. Click on the image again, hit Edit Image, Background Remover, go over here. Now, see this section here, Erase or Restore. So let's say that when it's cropping or cutting out your background, let's say it cut out too much, you could come back in and let's see, Restore. Let me hit Restore. I'm going to take my mouse and drag it. Let's see if this does this. We're going to drag it all along there to make sure that this all stays, okay? I think this should do it. We'll see. I haven't done this on this small of a image before, but let's try it. We're working together, you guys. Okay, let's do done. Let's see if that does it. Nope, that didn't do it. Okay, let me do restore. Show original. For some reason, okay, see how it has this gray and white check in the back? I think that this Canva image is actually a transparent image, so I'm trying to restore something that's not there because it's this gray and black check, which would be the transparent spot that the software doesn't see because it's, invisible. Okay, so let's say, here, I'll give an example on this one. Okay, we're going to go back over here. Oops. I'm going to select that image, hit edit. We're going to go to background recovery. And on this one, let's say that I wanted to, it's still loading. What are you doing, Canva? Hurry up. I don't know why you're locking out on me. Okay, let me go back. Oh, there we go. Oh, it just undid the graphic outline that we did. But okay, let's go over to this edit image. Background recovery. And then let's see. It might be because remove the background. Oh, boy. But normally what you can do is the image will pop up and then you have the ability to erase more of that image or to add more on. Okay, so let's say that I wanted to restore right here. Let's say that I had some, oh, wait, this one's not going to work. And I know why. It's because I already had it edited and on that green screen. Let me see, restore. Here, I know what I'm going to do. Okay, we're going to go over here to photos. And let's say that this was the photo that we were editing, okay? And I come over here, and in theory, if I do a remove background, patience. This is where we need some music. Where's the music at? Here's chill out music. What's this one? Turn that down a little bit. Okay. Who else works with music on when they're working? Me. I do. Either music or something playing in the background. Okay, so let's click on this. Let's try it again. Edit image. And then we're going to go to restore. And I should be able to, where is it at? Hold on a second. Where are you at, fella? Come on. Okay. Background remover. All I'm trying to do is show you, like, if you crop something out and let's say something important's missing, like somebody's finger that's pointing, I want to show you how to restore that. Unable to remove background. I don't want to remove the background. That's not what I wanted to do. Let's see if this does it. And I know it works because I've done it before. So normally these are the two sections. So like if I needed to erase more of that purse, like let's say that I didn't want this handle to show, I literally just click that erase button and then boom, that's gone, right? She's got a hole in her purse. Okay, so that is a way that you could like erase something that's in there. Let's say that I want to restore it. I click on the restore button and then I'm going to just go back over that whole section. So let's say somebody's finger gets cut off after you edit it. This is how you'd go back in and say, no, wait a minute. I need to fine tune that. And you can, on the lower part of your screen is how you can zoom in more so that you can really get in and fine tune it. And you can take, like, you can see my brush that I'm using is kind of big. So let's say it was really fine tuned. I could scroll this way down on my brush size and then get in here really gently. And this is why graphic design can really be time consuming, but there's some things that this may be necessary because you don't want somebody's finger or something that's looking totally whacked out because it got cut out. Details like this matter. So just pay attention to that. Okay, so let me close out of here and then we'll go back to, okay, we're going to cancel that. And then what did you say? Nice tip. Oh, yeah, you know those little things, they add up and everybody's got little hacks. That's just one of mine. I'm glad you picked it up today. Okay, so let me scroll out, zoom back out. And I was showing you before, okay, so this would be like throwing in, importing a graphic, changing your fonts, adjusting that. Those are all pretty easy things. Now, let's say that you wanted to do something that, you know, with your background that was a little bit more playful. If you scroll down, you'll see background. And there are so many different options. Again, this comes down to like art of restraint. Don't go crazy. You're not a kid in a candy store. We're an adult trying to make some business happen here, right? So the art of restraint, it's a powerful thing. I want to tell you one time about an event that I did that the person did not have the art of restraint. And yeah, it was disastrous. One time we'll talk about that. Okay, so in the background, let's say this is one that I was using for a lot of the thumbnails that I did last week. Literally drag it, click it, drag it right into there. Boom. It's in the background. So it looks good. If I click on that background, double click it, I have the option to also expand that or shrink it so that I have some wiggle room, especially if you're trying to get the color right so that the font shows up or whatever else might come up. You can do that. So move that around, click done, and that's easy breezy. But let's say that you have a situation where you come in and then you have your artwork all messed up where something is stacked on here. I'll give you an example. Let's say that I import, let's say that I bring in another photo of that purse, right? And now I can't see my face at all. Like, where did my face go? How you do that is it's about positioning the graphics and the images. So select the image that you want to adjust, click on it, hit position, and then you have the option where you can just like keep stepping it back until it's to the farthest position where you want, or you can start to bring it forward, click that forward button, or if you just want to do it in one swift click without having to figure it out, because you know it's like the furthest part of, what would you call that? The furthest layer back in the design, you can just click to back, and then see how it automatically put that back there. And then you can adjust it, you know, move it forward to where you want it. So super simple, but it's one of those things that can be one of those little things that give you a headache if you don't pay attention to it. Okay, so let's click on position again. You do also have options for making it aligned, front, center, left, etc., etc. So now for your graphic or for your text, let's say, you do have the option of adjusting the way that it is aligned, left, center, right. But sometimes if your window is not open correctly, you will not see all of these options. So I want you to remember this little section here with the 3 dots. It will always pop up everything that's available for that. So if you can't see your font options for editing or to see where to position your font, click the 3 dots. Okay, so in this case, let's say that we want to get a little bit funky with our text, okay? Select text, and then again, I want you to go over to those 3 dots. And here's something that can be really helpful. Let's say that you start off all your text and you're typing uppercase, lowercase, you do have the option to highlight that text, go to the three dots, and then this section right here, uppercase, lowercase, where you can adjust that. The reason why it's not working is I actually typed all of that in uppercase. Okay, so watch this. I'm going to select that text, double click it. Whoop. Okay, get it all highlighted, hit the three dots, come over here to where it says upper lowercase. See how it just automatically did it? Boom, boom. I don't have to retype all my text. That makes life easier too. All right, so getting into special effects. You can have some fun with this. Earlier I was showing you some of the pre-populated little fonts setups that they had. You can use that, but maybe you have your own thing and you just want to add a little oomph to it. You could do something like add neon or glitch, or maybe adding a background so it's easier to see that text. You also have the option over here, like if you have that background, check this out. Watch these corners right here. Where the black is at, watch these corners. So you can do super round, like pill shaped, or super square. You also have the ability to spread that background out a little bit so you have a little bit more margin, right? Or you can bring it in real tight to the font, or to the text. But we'll just, we'll go up to here to 75. You also have the option to make it transparent. See how it's fading out and pulling it back in. And these things are super powerful in the way that you can use the same exact font, like the top three fonts that you have, and changing it with color and texture and background, and it doesn't look the same. It does not have to be monotonous. It's about self-control and you being the artist in the driver's seat. Okay, so this gives you an idea of some of those things. You can also check this out. Let's say I'm like, no, I'm not doing the off blue and I want to make sure I have my perfect purple. I can select right there from my pre-populated fonts that we have. Really nice, huh? Now let's say that I want to make it curved and I want to bring this over my little photo grid that I have of me here. I have the option to do that too. All right. So, and then if you want to delete something, you just literally highlight it, delete it. So we're going to go back over here to your upper fonts, and that was the effects section. Scroll back down. You can readjust it to just be none. I want you to not freak out. Like if it doesn't work out, you can go back, adjust it to none. Or the other thing is you can hit this, let me move my face over. You can hit this arrow key right here and it'll undo the last task. Or if you move forward, it'll redo it. Boom, boom, boom. We're making magic on a Friday. Okay, so those are sort of the basics, like with your fonts and, having some fun with it. You can even adjust. I meant to show you this too, like with your curve, like how much of a curve is there? All right, so all sorts of little things like that. And Canva keeps updating regularly all of the stuff that they're offering. Okay, so animations. What the heck is animations about? Now, if I am saving this image later on when we download it, there's a lot of different options of how I can save that image, okay? So I could do just a regular JPEG, which is typical of everything that we're seeing on, the internet and our phones, JPEGs. PNG files, same thing, very similar to JPEG. However, PNG files allow you to do a transparent background, and that's great. But you might decide, you know what? Hold on, I'm going to delete this Canva because we're going to make something cool out of it. I'll go back and use, let's see if they've got a Canva logo here. They should. Okay, we'll use this Canva logo. Okay, we'll move this up here. All right, now let's say that we wanted to export this as a video. I'm going to show you how to do that in 1 second. Improve your graphics. Okay. Now, going back to this effects button that I was trying to show you a second ago, click on the text or even image that you have. The effects button disappeared, so we're going to hit on those 3 dots. I'm going to come over here to effects. Now, what this allows you to do, I'm sorry, not effects, animate. Now, what this allows you to do is watch how the graphics start to move. The fonts will start to move based on which one I'm selecting. Okay? Boom. A little bit of fun. So on this one, let's do Typewriter, your graphics. And on this one, the word improve, I've highlighted the word improve. Boom. I'm going to go over here to the 3 dots. I'm going to hit animate. And do you guys see one you want to try? If you see one you want to try, let me know. We've got burst, bounce, shift, ascend. We've got the typewriter already. Okay, what's this one do? Stomp. Okay, we'll do stomp. How about that? It's like boom in your face. Boom, boom. All right. Okay, so we'll do that. And art is fun. How about that? Okay. So super simple with that. You can also do the same thing with images that you bring into the template where you can animate it as well. I'm going to just select that Canva logo. I'm going to hit animate. And on this one, how about if we do, no, I don't like that. I think that scrapbook, it always reminds me of my computer's lagging. Okay, we'll do tumble. How about that? There you go. Okay, so we have that. All right. So, pretty simple, but pretty colorful. Now, let's come back over to the left-hand side, and there's this section that's called audio. Okay, and I'm wondering if I play this, if you can hear. Holy shit, that's loud. Okay, that hurt my ears. Okay, let me see if I can just turn it down really low so you guys get, I might have to take my earbud out. They need to fix this. They have it at like full blast. So when you download the audio or the music clips from Canva, you always have to turn it down really low if you stream it to like out of 1 out of 100, you have to drop it to like a 1. Holy jeez, it's really loud. Can you hear it? Can you guys hear it? No, I think I didn't. Okay, I'm going to stop it anyways because it's super freaking annoying and loud. Okay, so they have tons of options here for all the different music that you can select. From my understanding, a lot of their music is coming from Epidemic Sound, which is super cool. But this may be, features that you'll see. Like, see how it has this little crown here and it says Pro. This allows you to know what are the features that are available in the paid premium program. So for the free one, I don't know. I'm trying to see if I see any that are free. So far, everything that I'm seeing has a pro membership. So I can't say with certainty, but I think maybe if you have, nope, here, this looks like a free one. Doesn't have a crown on it. Okay, it's really loud anyways, but you get the point. If you have the free account, just make sure that you are not selecting the ones that have Pro on it. The one thing that's really cool, I mean, for the price point of, if you prepay for the year, I think it's $9.95 a year for Canva. What it allows in your management of social media is pretty powerful. You've got a mini video editor, you have music clips, audio clips, photos, graphic design. So yeah, it's 100% worth the monthly fee. A lot of stuff you can get by without. I think in today's day and age, if you are not able to do the basics with graphic design, you need to reevaluate and say, I will commit to change that in the next 30 days, because it'll be one of the most powerful skill sets that you have for yourself, or even things in your own personal life. So just keep that in mind. Now, let's say that I want to download this particular. Let me see if I can delete that. Okay, good. This is slide 3. Oh, and you do have the option to be able to name each slide so you don't get lost. Artwork. I'll just call it artwork. Now, for downloading this, let's say hypothetically this one we want to make a video, a little mini video clip, okay? In fact, here, we'll drop that in there, and then I'm going to hit share. Oops. I'm going to hit share, and then I'm going to hit download. And then in the select pages, hold on a second. I want to show you guys the audio, but it's just too loud the way I have it set up with my stream right now. It's blowing my ear out. I can't think. Okay, so we're going to hit share, scroll down a little bit, hit download, and make sure that MP4 is selected. MP4 is your video format, but you'll see you have the option to download in PNG, JPEG, a PDF even, PDF with a higher quality for print. They just started this one with the SVG files for the vector files, vector graphics, and you can even do GIFs. So all of these are really fun, unique things that are applicable to social media. But for right now, let's just say that we're going to download an MP4. I want you to go to the section where it says select pages. Often you'll see by default, it'll select everything that you have in this workbook that we have open. But in this case, I don't want to select all of them. If I select all of them while downloading as an MP4, what it will do is take every single slide, every single one of these slides, and it'll make it all one video, right? But in this case, we just want to have one video that's coming from page 3, right? Page 3 artwork. So we're going to hit done, and then we're going to hit download, and it's going to download that. I'm going to see if I can pull that up for you and show you a little mini video that you can pull up. It's taking a half a second. All right, let me go over here. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, so let me pull this up. And this was the video that we just made. I literally just dragged that right into Canva, but you can see that it's in there. I mean, I dragged it into eCam. Oh, that's so funny. But let's say, let me get this off here. Hold on one second. I don't know what's on there. Okay, let me come down here a second. And I'm going to drag that video up into here for half a second. Okay. All right, so here's that video that I just created. And in eCam, I have an option to just play that video once, or I could play it on a loop. And then it could just keep playing in the background. Now, this is a little bit different what we were talking about, like the basics of graphic design, but I want to show this to you because you could literally do your logo with like a lower third coming through. I mean, this isn't the exact one that I would do for myself, but you could do a logo coming in that's playing in the background, sort of like how you see the, NBC with the peacock feathers floating through and rotating every once in a while, or you'll see a logo on the news and it'll spin and rotate and fade away. You can do stuff like that now. All you have to do is create your little graphic design and drop it right into your live stream. So there you go for that. So Isha, what did you say? Do you know how to change the color of someone's shirt? I don't. However, if they do have, let's say it was a green shirt, you can go through and, like do the green screen effect for something like that. I don't know if Canva has that ability. That sounds like that might be something more in design. If you know of it or you know somebody that does know it, let me know because I keep learning too every single day. And it's through people like you saying stuff like, did you know? But did you know? No, I didn't know, but now I know now. But all of those things become really powerful when it comes to how do you do your storytelling online through images and videos and just really killer content. Okay, so let's go back over here into the Canvas screen. That kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of, like creating your artwork, getting it going. And on this one, again, this was like just a general template. If I select that image that's in there and I delete it, you'll see by default that grid is in there from Canva. So if I take a photo, let's say a photo that I uploaded earlier, I have to go to upload because that's where I uploaded my photos. And let's say that it was this photo I'm going to drop in here. I literally click the image, pull it over, and it drops. Now, it doesn't look right. It's like off center, right? So double click on that image, and then I can literally click and hold with my mouse and move that image back and forth. I can expand it too, and then move it back and forth because it still does have a fixed perimeter of how far that image can be stretched within that grid. I hope that makes sense. But let's say that I scroll this back down and I get my little face in there. Okay, and then I'm gonna click done and it's in there. All right, so easy breezy for that. Let's say it's like, damn, my face is big. Oh, it's funny. Okay, so we're gonna click done. And let's say in the background, I wanted to do something really funky. I'm going to delete this text, okay? And let's say in the background, I want to do an actual moving video. You come over to the section that says video over here on the left and pick something that is appropriate for you and your story that you're sharing. In fact, you want to know what? Here, I know what we're going to do. We're going to delete my face. We're going to move this over here and over here. And then we're going to pull this in right here. That video. Oops. Okay, let's try it again. Take it up here to the corner. And then I'm going to select that video that I just imported. And I'm going to click from the corner and drag it. And I'm going to position it where I want. And then click. Where did my done button go? Okay, so done. I'm going to move this little grid that I had right here. And let's go over to uploads again. See if I can find a goofy face. Here we go. It's a goofy face girl. I'm going to take that, drop it right into there. And it automatically went into that, whoops, odd-shaped grid that I had. And let's say that I want to do some fonts in there. And we'll do this one just for simplicity. Where did it go? Oh, it went really big. Okay, we're going to scale that. Delete that one. It was there. I guess it was not being patient. Okay, so we're going to square that down. On this font from this template that we had, I'm going to just click on that. I'm going to say hello, daylight savings. Okay. Now the things that I don't like about this right now is the font's all, spread out everywhere. It's hard to read, but it has the message, right? Well, we're going to change that by double clicking the text that we have here. Select this, it looks like, I guess they call it the hamburger icon, the 3 bars and an arrow for spacing. Click on that. I want you to bring the spacing down to 1. By default, it was in there for 2. We're also going to take each end of this text block, and we're going to stretch it all the way out so that everything that was wrapping around to the next line and making it really long, we are taking it and stretching it wide so all that text will fit. But now we're going to take it from the corner and push in so that it's smaller. So boom, now we have it where it's a little bit closer together, but it's still hard to read a little bit, right? So I'm going to click that daylight savings. It's in pink, and we're going to change it to white, and that should make it a little bit easier to read. Okay, so boom, hello daylight savings. Remember, Sunday, change your clocks back. Boom. I hate spring daylight savings. It's the worst. It's the worst. I'm like groggy for a month. I can't function. But I like the fall where it's like you get that extra hour. Yeah, baby, I'll take that. But man, it's springtime, we lose it. Just leave the time alone. Driving us people crazy. All right, so just a simple graphic, but something that you can do to stay engaged with your audience. And so, remember, do that for one of your posts. Go remind people, turn your clocks back. It's that time of year again. Are all of you in time zones where you have daylight savings? I'm Eastern Standard Time. What time zone are you guys in? I'd love to know. Okay, so that's like about the short of that part. I do want to go back over here, show you one more thing on the download part. Is we had gone through, I showed you how to download, right? You can also do share to social, which is super cool. So you could schedule it to get pushed out to Facebook or wherever you're at. But this is the part to me that I think is so awesome and can save you a lot of time, is coming into the section of link sharing. So if I wanted, I could say anyone with this link can have access to this file. They can either comment on it, edit it, or they can just watch it. So let's say that you wanted somebody to be able to get in there and edit things. You give them full-fledged access, but maybe there's somebody else that you want them to see it, but you know that they're not tech savvy and you don't want your stuff messed up. You can have it where they can watch it. So let's say in theory, and this is a great lead magnet, you guys. In fact, I did this last Christmas where I created, it was 30 different posts for social media during the holidays. And I did it as a lead magnet. And I allowed people, hey, if you sign up with your email address, I'm going to give you access to all the social media templates that you need for Christmas. Well, people freaking blew it up because they love the idea of just having to go in there, change their photo, change their logo, and all of their social media stuff was mapped out. It made it a little bit easier. So this could be something that you're doing where you're sharing it with a client or somebody that's helping you work on your graphic designs. Maybe you do have a graphic designer that you hire to do all the graphic work in Canva. They send you a link, and then you can go in there and just fine tune. Oh, you spelt my product name wrong, or you forgot this one little thing. That way 99% of the work's done, and maybe you're just fine-tuning that little bit. So huge time saver. But all you do, copy link, and then it is going to, it takes a little bit, it copies the link, and then I can literally take that link and I can put it in a Facebook message to somebody, an email message. Here's the link for whatever, go work on it. They can do that. So, but just make sure that you're mindful on managing your own graphic design stuff and being able to have it easily accessible, and maybe somebody's not editing your master copies. So you might make a copy of this whole folder of graphic design and then share it. So let's go over to this section really quick, because this is something that is incredibly important for you to be able to stay sane in managing all of this artwork, because at first it's going to seem like, oh, it's just one. Very quickly you will end up with hundreds and thousands of graphic designs. So it can become easy to get lost when it's like, where's that one thing that I did last month? I need it now. Oh, did you organize it like you do with your computer? What are you doing there? So going back over to the home screen, okay, we're going to come down to, let's go over here. Where are we at? Canva? What happened? Okay, so we're going to come back over to like that main home screen, and you're going to see, oh, it looks like they moved this a little bit. Hold on a second. I've got to adjust. Where's my graphic at? Oh, maybe that was covering it up. They have a little promo thing, and it was blocking out my window here on the left-hand side. So on the left-hand side, you'll see a couple of things. Number one, all of your projects, which is basically like your finder, your directory of looking at all your folders, all your stuff that you have online. This is also helpful too, so that you don't have to download and keep all the stuff on your computer. You could actually design it in Canva, download it for what you need, use it, you could delete it, and then archive it in your projects folder. So your projects folder includes all of the artwork that you've created or you've had shared with you through Canva. But being able to create these folders is a phenomenal way for you to be able to stay organized and know exactly, wait a minute, where's my stuff at? So after you click on project, go ahead and click on folders, and you'll see I have all of these different folders, a combination of some folders for myself, some folders for some clients. What happened there? And then when I click on each of these, when I click on that folder, let me go back here. When I click on the folder, what will happen is, where do we go? I lost it. Okay, we'll go over here to Beam presentations. These are all previous presentations that I've made to either clients or through challenges and things that I've done online. So when I click on that, you'll see within that project there are all these different subfolders. So you have the ability to store, save your projects in different spots. So let's come over here, and this artwork that we just created. Hold on, guys. Okay. This artwork that we just created, and this includes all of the 4 different images that we were working on, and the one that we downloaded is MP4. I'm going to click on the 3 dots in the upper right-hand corner. I'm going to click on Move to Folder, and then Your Projects, and then I can literally select which folder that I want to upload that into, right? If you don't see a folder that you want, and let's say that it's a brand new project that you're working on, you can click New Folder, and it'll automatically generate that new folder. So we'll go over into there, into Folders, went to Projects, and then we clicked on Folders, and then you'll see, should be in there. I might have to refresh it. But each time that you do a new piece of artwork, share it to a folder that you have designated, because a week or a month later, you might not remember, where's it at in a whole slew of things. But if you have it organized, you'll be able to easily get that. So this was like Destiny stuff. Each of these are different pieces of artwork. Let's see, we were over here in presentations. That was one of them. So go through, fool around with that a little bit, have fun, and don't be afraid, because if anything, you can always relocate that main file in Canva. They have, even like in the deleted section, if you click on trash, you can go back and see what are your last couple of things that you've deleted. So you still have access to it. And that brand kit, that was what I was showing you earlier for uploading your fonts, your graphics, your content. or your text formats. In that content planner, this is where you can get into scheduling all of those posts for yourself. So I think that that's about it. I mean, we went a little bit over from what I thought we were gonna do, but I wanted to make sure that you guys did have some of the main basics for how to create an amazing graphic design campaign. And maybe the next time we come back on, we can do a segment that is on, like, let's see if this pops up, like video. Maybe we can do a section that's on video and show you how to utilize Canva for editing your videos, creating shorts, creating even long format. It's pretty cool what you can do. You can even do different layers of sound. So you could add like you speaking at the same time audio's playing. And they do have some features to level it out. It is not as sophisticated as like Premiere Pro or Adobe Premiere or Final Cut Pro. It's not that sophisticated, but it's pretty gnarly, kind of badass chick. It's kind of cool. The video features are enough for what most most business leaders would need. And usually if you start getting into something that you need something higher than that, you're either on that skill set track of, live streaming or video editing. But if it's for basic stuff, yeah, you absolutely can do it. And you can even record on your phone, yada, yada, yada. Take that video, upload it to Canva, and edit it. And editing could be adding graphics, adding, music, adding. What did you say? Northern Michigan. Oh boy, I bet you are nice and cold. It's pretty though, I will tell you that. I do love the snow. I used to do a lot of snowboarding, but it's been a while. Okay, video presentation and content planning would be fun. Yeah, we can definitely do that. And I love video. That's more my expertise. I do the graphic design stuff in part because it's a necessity. It's like the breath of air. But again, like bigger projects, for those of you, I don't know if you know, I publish a magazine called Kudos Magazine. So when it comes to stuff like this, I have an amazing graphic designer that works with me, and I'm the editor-in-chief of the magazine, and I have a great crew that works with me, but I'm looking at the images, but stuff like this. And part of this goes back to, you guys, this is a business principle I want you to always remember. If you are growing your business, and you start scaling and things start, it's kind of like the perfect one, how to avoid burnout. You start scaling and you start growing. There will come a time that you have to hire other people to leverage for some of the workload. And that can look a million different ways, but this is business success formula 101, getting it down, getting it stable enough in your business, and then eventually bringing on people after you have the work, the cash flow, and things coming in, so that you can leverage your time in other areas of your expertise. So let's say graphic design isn't your cup of tea. That's all right. That's cool. Do what you have to do to get by and be as perfect as possible. And then as your time becomes and demand for other things in your business and you have income that's coming in, that's when you have to be responsible and not cheap. There's a difference between being frugal and being cheap. Being cheap is when you aren't willing to part with money, even though you know that there's an advantage that your company will receive. And I will tell you, I pay my graphic designers really well, but they kick ass and I don't have to, I've got a little bit of OCD issues. Literally, but sometimes and they're so used to me. Like I've worked with these guys for 10, 15 years, so they know exactly what to expect when they're working with me. But at a certain point, you've got to offset some of the skill sets so that you can do what's best. Like maybe your thing that you're good at is presenting and speaking, or maybe it's engaging with clients and really giving, deep sessions, or creating or production, or whatever's your thing. The sales part, that's like a whole nother component. So you just want to make sure that, as you're moving in through business and growing, that you just account accordingly and make adjustments. And if you start getting these big thresholds, bring somebody else in. And regardless, even if you are a big fat shark in the middle of the ocean, you should still know some of the basic skills that are in 2022. This isn't 1982 where you had to master the typewriter, which, believe me, I think was a bigger pain in the rear. It was. Than what we have to do for graphic design. You have to have responsibility and know some of the basics. I know how to flip out. You guys now know how to flip out a beautiful thumbnail. You know how to do, and that could translate to like a Facebook post, an Instagram post. You guys now know how to make a mini video inside of Canva, and you can change like what we were showing a minute ago. You can change it into so many other things that it could be, of artwork that you're bringing in, photos or stills or videos, but you know how to do it. You already know how to do it. So you're kind of like a rock star now. All right. So I guess that's all that I have for you today. And presentations. And I would like to, I think presentations and video is probably my niche of what I'm really good at, because I've been doing events and marketing for 20 years, and presentations are a key part of that. In fact, that's sort of where I started with my background at Ford Motor Company, was working in technical writing and then presentations. And I ended up eventually doing events for digital marketing for advanced prototype electronics. I traveled internationally for 10 years. So I had a chance to do a lot of presentations for like Society of Automotive Engineers, Consumer Electronics Show, Detroit Auto Show, Paris Auto Show, Cologne Show, Torrance and Irvine Design Center tour that we had in California, back and forth, up and down California. It sounded really fun until I did it for like a month, and I ended up getting walking pneumonia because I was traveling so much, and I wore myself out. So there are a lot of happy times actually during that time, but things have changed with the way that we operate in business. And now the key is, do what you got to do online and start growing. All right, you guys, in the meantime, tomorrow I am going to come back on live, and I'm going to do a tutorial. I'll show you some of the studio gear that I use for my business. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the software that I use also. I had a chance to share with you a little bit about Groove Funnels. That's like a new thing for me, the Groove Funnels. But even getting into, we had a chance to get into Canva. I want to talk to you a little bit about eCam, which I think is it's Canva and eCam, I think are my all-time favorite softwares. And I'd love to teach you a little bit about that. eCam is specifically for Mac users, but there's other options too. You can use, if you're PC, you can do vMix, or some of the cloud-based software like StreamYard and Restream. So, all right. Hey, listen, I could use your help if you have a chance. I'm trying to grow my YouTube channel. I'm starting over again, brand new. But if you have a chance and you could go over and subscribe to that would help me out a lot. I really want to grow out that channel and start taking advantage of some of those strategies. And trust me, as I'm learning them, I'm going to teach you too. So, but yeah, just keep getting out there, be happy, do things to be proactive with your business, keep growing, keep doing your little thing. You really want to learn eCam? I really want to teach you. And you know what? Just because you made that comment, you motivated me to learn to do my share screen, and then I can show you behind the scenes what I'm seeing. And it's powerful, you guys. Straight up eCam. All right. And that song is by DJ Rob, Right on Beat. All right, you guys. You should Come out from the other side of the camera. Come on, Isha. I'll cheer you on. All right, you guys. In the meantime, have a beautiful weekend. Be good. Be happy. And most definitely,